talking with
Tove Kinooka, and I'm here I'm usually in Yokohama, but today I'm coming to you live from Tokyo Big Site out near Odaiba, right in the center of Tokyo, where I'm here for the Eco Pro conference.
Yeah, and you're going to tell us all about the Echo Pro. What is it in a minute? But this is our new, and I think this is the third time we've done this sub-series, short takes and updates talking about sustainability in Japan. And this Echo Pro event is a great example of something that you're doing in Tokyo. Can you tell us a little bit about it, Tova?
Yeah, absolutely. So the event runs for 3 days. It's at Tokyo Big Site, which is one of the biggest venues in Tokyo. It's huge, and having looked at the map of the event, so thanks for putting that up there, JJ. There's so much going on, but you've got sort of 4 key areas really. So the first one is around business, as you can see there, revitalizing business. So it's really nice to see that revitalizing, regeneration word's been using rather than just sustainability. It's going beyond that now. And the idea is that it's a place for companies to come together. We've got everything from very small businesses through to the great big multinationals, showcasing what they're doing. So showing us eco-friendly products and technologies, innovative new ideas. Hopefully we're going to see some really exciting stuff. So I'll be taking plenty of pictures to share next week. And it's also a chance for businesses to talk to each other, to spark off potential collaborations and stuff like that. There are going to be seminars, sort of workshops, speakers as well from different organizations. We've also got MPOs and things here as well, so it's great. It's not just business, so it's really important to look at how we can bring these different sectors together for potential collaboration. And they've also invited kids, elementary and junior high school and high school kids, to come and have their say and to see what's going on as well. So really nice combination.
Yeah, that's good. I see that in the poster that inviting children who are responsible for the next generation, proposing lifestyle changes, implementing project exhibitions and seminars, and revitalizing business, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, looks great.
You'll
have to tell us more about it next week after you've been in there all day.
Yes.
You haven't actually been in yet, right?
No, so it opens at 10, and I was hoping I might be able to get in and live stream from inside, but as you can see, the people just streaming in behind me. And I think the registration process is going to take a little while, so I thought it's safer to find a spot first, and I'll be able to update more next week.
Yeah, no worries. For my update, I am doing the first of monthly events leading up to our collaborative event in March. It's Seeking Sustainability online and in person from Hiroshima today. We're going to have lots of great vegan plant-based snacks to eat. So
Nice.
my whole kitchen is filled with beautiful smells as I make a lot of snacks today. And collaborating with another woman who's going to help translate, but she's also a great chef. So we're going to both have snacks at the event today. But we're going to start with like an SDG type seminar, but keep it very interactive. So we really want to not be like telling people you need to be like this, and top down. We really want a discussion about what is possible in people's lives, because sustainability in terms of lifestyle or work is such a case-by-case thing. And I think each of us has our successes and hurdles depending on our own situations, right?
Exactly. And it's really interesting to hear you, really good to hear you talking about making it interactive and not just, as you say, sort of coming in and saying to people, this is what you should be doing. Because I think, that's been a mistake. I think maybe governments, organizations, local governments and stuff have done in the past, right? And just said, oh, now you need to do this. And people have pushed back against that. It's not, it's annoying being told suddenly you have to do things differently and what you were doing was not good or, not good enough. And it actually
people will either push back or just give up.
Exactly.
And I think trying to be positive and trying to have fun with it
Yeah.
is really important, right? And say, I know it's so difficult. It's so
Yeah.
difficult for me,
Yes.
even someone who's so obsessed with
Yeah.
sustainability.
And none of us have
But
got all the
there
answers
are
yet.
better
Yeah.
options, and here are some ideas. And
Yeah.
tell me your ideas. Let's share. Like, everybody
Exactly.
can really help each other, I think.
Yeah, I think that collaborative approach is really the key to tackling any of the sustainability issues we're talking about. And it's come up a few times in different contexts for me this last week. So on Thursday last week, I had the great pleasure of being asked to facilitate or present at and then sort of moderate a roundtable discussion with the Nordic networks. So we had 5 Nordic countries represented. We had the ambassadors, we had the heads of their chambers of commerce, and the Nordic countries are really far ahead on a lot of areas of this. They're not perfect by any means, but very far ahead on a lot of things. And if you look at the SDGs index, for example, Finland's number 1, I think Sweden's number 2. They're way up there, all in the top 10. And they were talking about, okay, how can they help Japan? They've got some things that are working really well back in, the Nordic countries. What can they bring to the conversation here with their business partners, their potential customers and stuff, and help move the conversation forward here? But one of the things that came up was we have to be so careful how you approach this. You can't just come in and say, well, this is how we did it, and change and follow us, and that's not going to go down well. So we're really looking at how they can create a collaborative approach with organizations here to co-create locally appropriate solutions, right? It's not just importing ideas from one place to another. They need to be adapted and made attractive, but also relevant and appropriate for the situation.
Definitely. And even within Japan, like when I work with people in different areas, different kinds of businesses, you realize how you need a different approach for every single different situation.
Absolutely, yeah.
So sometimes people like from the National Tourist Organization ask me for advice about a national sustainable tourism plan. And I was like, actually, you really need to look like area by area. And I'm sorry to say that. It's not the answer you want, but it is really case by case.
Exactly. I mean, if you look at the diversity of environments in Japan, it's huge, right? I mean, this country is really, really long. You've got Hokkaido at the top, which is temperate and really sort of deep snow and stuff in the winter. You've got Okinawa, which is pretty much tropical. I mean, it's totally different environments and economic situations as well. So yeah, so true.
But there are better options, I think, for most of us, in our daily lives, in our work. So there are some tried and true, I think, solutions that we could offer people as ideas for sure.
Yeah.
One of the, before we talk about the garbage and reuse idea that you want to talk about, I just want to give one more holiday shopping tip. So sustainable shopping from Japan.
Yeah.
And I came across this one is a really great idea. The company is called Plasticity. Have you heard of this?
No, I
Tove?
haven't. Tell me more.
It's a Tokyo-based company, and what they're doing, they're making these cool, fashionable items which are made of plastic, but it's not new plastic. It's reused umbrella plastic.
Fantastic.
So every time there's a big rainstorm in Japan, you have a lot of the people use them like single use. The plastic umbrellas, because they just need one. They forgot to bring their own, right? But quite often they end up in the garbage dumps all around the stations. So this company decided, well, we're going to reuse that plastic, make it into waterproof bags and wallets and hats and things that look kind of cool, but reusing the material. And I thought that was really cool.
That's brilliant. Yeah, because you see so many of those sort of abandoned around the stations, and they blow inside out in the wind, and then you can't really use them again. They break, right? But the plastic,
really great idea. Now you wanted to talk about garbage and reuse and repair, and you had a story from your friend? right?
Yeah, so these photos are courtesy of my friend Kerry Chrome. So she is living in Tokyo with her two children, her husband, and her daughter had a school project. And on the right, you can see the project she created, the metal world here. So really beautiful project that she came up with, really creative. And that's wonderful to see kids getting involved in these, really creative hands-on projects and thinking and talking about, different materials, how they're using it. But what happens to it afterwards? So a lot of the materials used in the projects are already sort of rubbish items, garbage items, right? They're brought in from home and things. Great, no problem. Those things perhaps could have been recycled, things like milk cartons and stuff like that, when they were in their sort of original state. But once they start using them for these projects and things, they're covered in spray paint, there's tape, there's glue. They're no longer recyclable at that point. They're too contaminated. And dismantling this project, she ended up with 45 liters of rubbish. And she said there are 60 kids doing this project, and that's just one school and one project. And so you times that by 60. I mean, I don't do numbers, but I know that's an awful lot. And it just makes you think, a lot of the schools are doing really good projects and, talking about SDGs, which is fantastic. I mean, both my kids have come home from school with SDG related, leaflets and things like this. They've had people come and talk about it. They're having these conversations, and then this is happening. And you think, okay, well, there's a gap here. What's going on? It's wonderful that they're bringing awareness up. It's wonderful that they're using, recycled items or recycling items to do these projects. But if they're then creating a lot of waste, which is problematic and can't be recycled, then that's surely, goes against everything that they're trying to talk about. So just wondering, what's your experience of that? Have you seen anything similar going on? Or
That is a really good point. And I think a lot of parents out there will definitely have very similar situations. I remember a lot of the public Japanese elementary school projects were using like milk cartons
Yep.
and things which are normally recycled in some way,
Yes.
like at the supermarkets. But you're right. If you're adding googly eyes or glue or glitter, you're going to have to separate everything again and put it into different garbage containers, and you won't be able to recycle
Yeah.
those uh like containers as usual because they're covered in glue and stuff, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
good point.
And it was interesting you mentioned glitter there, because that was, the original post that Kerry had done that I noticed was she was talking about this wonderful new product that's biodegradable glitter. So it's bio-based. It's made from plant structures, I think. But it's really pretty. It looks just as good as the traditional glitter. But of course, traditional glitter that we all love to, grew up with and had all over our school projects, and you see it all over so many Christmassy things. It's microplastics. That's going, straight out into the water systems, into the soil, and causing absolute havoc. I know several big retailers in the UK have now stopped using that. I think Tesco, massive supermarket, has said that it's not using glitter anymore in any of its products. And I think that's going to be a trend we're going to see more and more, and hopefully here in Japan as well. But there are alternatives out there. So it's wonderful to see things like this being developed, and hopefully we'll be able to, buy that and use it so that we can still have the fun and the creativity and the sparkles, but without the negative impact.
Yeah, definitely. I often think that like when you see the countdown events or something on TV and all the glitter and all the ticker tape coming down,
Yes.
and so much of it is glittery or
Mm,
plasticky, and you're like, oh no, where is that going? Is it
exactly.
going into the waterway? Like,
Yeah.
can we make sure it's biodegradable? Like, so if it does get into the rivers and oceans, that it doesn't cause harm and come back into
Exactly.
our own bodies, right?
Yeah,
That's part of
yeah,
the problem.
yeah, very much so. Because it's not just the waterways, is it? Because I was reading an article somebody posted on LinkedIn yesterday talking about soil as well, and the fact that that there are so many microplastics, because so much plastic is used in farming if you look around the fields, near us, you see these beautiful, neat rows of vegetables being grown, but they're all covered in sheets of plastic to keep them warm during the colder months and keep them, protect them from pests and stuff. But then eventually that breaks down and you're getting microplastics in the soil, into the food system, and therefore into us. Not a good thing.
No. And one of the biggest surprising things about how plastics is getting into the soil was about the concentration of plastic in salt, table salt.
Wow.
Even if you're getting your salt from the Himalayas, like, the pink salt, the beautiful Himalaya salt, still has plastic in it. So it is from the highest mountains to the deepest part of the ocean. We have covered our world in plastic. And now it's going into our bodies at the rate of a credit card size piece of plastic per week or something.
Yeah. I can't remember what the exact thing
we don't
was,
know what's going to happen, right? With it accumulating. So this is
the long-term consequences.
It's not going to be a good thing. No. I don't think.
No. Plastic's not meant to be inside, I don't think.
No, I don't think so. Yeah. So the less plastic into the environment, the better, right? And we can do that by making choices about what we buy. And we can do that by asking vendors and asking our government to please use less plastic packaging before it even gets to our stores, right?
Absolutely. But I think the more, we can ask government, we can ask, retailers when we go and buy our products. But I think also, that we can just make conscious choices if we're not buying things which are covered in plastic. If we're bringing our own bags to put things in and not using the plastic bags that are there, that's going to start to put pressure on the retailers, I think, and make them rethink how they present the products, how they sell them.
Absolutely. And this is go back to the case-by-case example. We noticed my family eats a lot of bread. The single is like one little small loaf has a plastic bag every time. So I have started making my own bread more, which is more healthy, but also it reduces all the plastic bags. So just having an honest look at your own use, right? And then realizing, what can I do to reduce that plastic just a little bit,
Yes, absolutely.
And then buying these massive bags of flour from Costco, which is in a paper bag, so you buy bulk, but often it's in a better container, stuff like that.
Yeah, those small choices all add up, right? And can really make a difference to your overall footprint. And actually, you mentioning bread really makes me think of something I was listening to the other day, webinar on food systems, and it had speakers from all over the world talking about different sort of issues in different parts of the food systems. And one of the issues they were talking about was something we've mentioned before here, which was food waste, food loss. And it really got me thinking, in Japan, when you buy bread, particularly the sliced bread that's really, really popular here, it never has the crusts on. So what happens to those crusts? Because I know, we make bread at home as well. We've got one of those bread machines, had it for years. And the best thing is the smell when it's just about ready, right? It's just wonderful. Dangerous because you end up eating far too much bread. But my husband, he's Japanese, he's up here, he never eats the crusts. He'll cut off the crust and leave it sort of in the container, and then he eats the rest of the loaf. And I eat the crusts because I always think, well, they're just going to get left otherwise.
You can kind of train yourself to like the crust, like you do a mental trick, like, oh, the crust. Yay, and then your kids start going, oh, I want the crust, because you're excited about it too.
Exactly.
But one thing about making bread too is I'm trying all these new recipes. I went to a miso factory in Hiroshima, and she told me she puts miso in her bread recipe. And I got some beautiful yuzu miso because I went to an organic yuzu farm yesterday.
Oh,
and I'm trying bread rolls made with yuzu miso. So citrus and miso as one of the ingredients. I bet it's going to be good. I'm excited about it.
I'm looking forward to hearing it. Can you share the recipe? That sounds amazing.
Yes, of course.
So tell us more about this yuzu farm. the
Oh my
user
gosh, it
farm.
was great. I don't have
Mm.
any pictures to share this time. I'll try to get some up by next time. But
Mhm.
it was absolutely amazing. So yuzu is kind of citrus, very, very famous from the Shikoku area usually. I
Mhm.
didn't realize we had in Hiroshima area as well. And it's an organic yuzu farm. And so one of the most exciting things about it is the farmer was saying when you pick it off, just try bite into one because it's organic. You can eat the peel.
Oh wow.
And I was like,
Nice.
this is going to be crazy bitter and sour, but it was really good.
Mhm.
It was amazing.
Amazing.
So it was a really nice experience. And because it's organic, you can just pick it off the tree and eat it. Isn't that
Yeah.
great?
Yeah, that's brilliant. That's as it should be, right?
Yeah. I have
Mhm.
another sustainable shopping tip
Yeah.
for, especially for the holidays. Have you heard of Nozomi Project?
Yes, I think I have that. That have heard of that. That's the ceramics, right? That they
Yes.
make
So
jewelry.
it's a beautiful project that started after the 2011 disaster in the Tohoku area.
Mhm.
And their slogan, you can see on the bottom of the screen here, is called Beauty in Brokenness.
That's
And what a
beautiful.
beautiful slogan. So
Mm.
the founder was an American woman who came over to the area to volunteer to try to help. And she got together a bunch of women in the area and they started collecting these pieces of pottery from the beaches and then reutilizing the broken pieces of pottery into jewelry and ornaments and things. And it's just such a beautiful idea. It's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
simple, but it's very beautiful and very unique. Like
Yes.
you could never buy anything like this.
Mhm.
So, yeah, just
No, that's
gorgeous.
a really wonderful idea. And, wonderful in sort of community-based project as well. Really nice
Yeah.
to see.
We've had a comment from Kyle on YouTube. Thanks,
Yeah,
Kyle. He
I
says,
saw that.
I had an apple wrapped with plastic wrap at a Holiday Inn in the US recently.
Wow. Wow.
Never seen a single apple in plastic before. Yeah, that sounds very like we experience in Japan all the time, right?
Yes, single apples, single bananas, single anything wrapped in plastic. Yeah.
And then one other
Mm.
challenge here is because we now have the charge for the plastic shopping bags. But if you buy, sometimes the fruit is loose, so you can
Mhm.
buy it and put it in your basket, and then you're going to use your own shopping bag at the other end. But quite often the supermarket will put it in another free little supermarket shopping plastic bag, and you have to be
Yes.
quick to
Oh,
say,
yeah.
no, thank you. No, thank you. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah, I watch them like a hawk always when we're going through the registration bit, and you just, like you say, you have to be really quick. Just say, no, 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 please, just as it is. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Some of them are getting better now. I've been impressed with Eon recently, where I do my sort of main grocery shopping. They're really making big efforts on this, and I've noticed now, I put all the loose fruit and veg in my basket, and before, like you say, it would always be they'd then reach for the little plastic bags to put it in as they were putting it through. Now they don't seem to do that. Most of the people recently haven't tried to, and I haven't had to say anything, which has been really, a great change to see. So I hope that that's,
Yeah.
indicative of a broader shift.
Yeah. I think the more you go to the same shops, they get used to you and they're like
True.
mentally, this is the one that doesn't like the plastic bags. I'm not going to do it. Like
Yeah.
like even I guess for anything kind of wet. So we often
Mm,
buy tofu and even though the tofu is in a plastic container, just in case it might leak, they put
yeah.
it in another plastic bag. So
Right.
again, no, I'm good. And that's okay.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
exactly. Or I mean, my husband had big issues around this. Would always come home with it in the little plastic bag. So I started sending him with plastic Ziploc bags that we have at
Oh,
home. It's like because at
good.
least those you can reuse many times. It's like when you put in your shopping bag that you now have to take, which is great, into before you go shopping, just stick a couple of Ziploc bags in there that you can reuse again and again and again for anything that's wet or might leak. So I think that
Yeah.
gets around that issue. Took a little
That's
while
a
to train them
really
up, but
That's a really good tip. And recently I've been trying to take small containers with me, because
Okay.
I sometimes do happen upon like a zero waste shop and I want to support
Mm,
them and I want to try, but you need your own container.
that's right.
So my bag of things that I want to take to be eco and to be sustainable is getting bigger and bigger. I'm going to have to like take a backpack every time, but most of them are empty containers, like
Yeah.
empty eco shopping bags, empty containers, empty coffee mug,
Yeah.
empty
Hmm.
water bottle in case, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
How about you? What do you always pack in your bag?
So there's always this, my Mizu bottle. Um, so that goes everywhere with me. Again, the shopping bags I've got, and I bought years ago in New Zealand some little net bags that you can use for fruit and vegetables. That's what they're designed for, and that you can easily wash them if you need to. So I've usually got one of those. I haven't got it today because I'm at a conference and I'm not going near a shop, but I usually have at least one of those tucked in the corner, and it's tiny and really light.
Do
But it
you
just
do you
means,
carry your own utensils like my hashi or my fork, my spoon?
yes, normally I do. Today, again, because I'm out and about for this specific thing, I don't have it. But again, there are some really great options out there now. And Japan's really good at this, right? You've got all these wonderful bento sets and things with little containers, beautifully sort of neat, that fit together and don't take up much space. And you can get ones that are kind of chops. I've got ones that are, you can put different ends on them, right? So the base
Oh yeah.
stick, then you can add the chopstick end on it, or things like this, or a spoon or a fork. So it's really versatile, and these things are out there. It's just about kind of training ourselves to get into habits of
Yeah,
carrying them around.
definitely. If you're in need of some of this gear, of course, a lot of the department stores in Japan
Yes.
have beautiful bento sets, but
Mm-hmm.
also Patagonia. If you
Yeah.
find your way into a Patagonia shop, because they have like a camping version,
Mm-hmm.
which is very light and easy to carry, and I really like using their spork.
Ah, right.
So it's
Yes.
like a spoon
Spoon,
fork
fork.
combo. And
Mm-hmm.
then you can basically eat anything from ice cream to jelly to like dessert. You can eat anything,
Yeah.
including salads or things you might use hashi for. You could use
Mm.
the spork. So if you've only got room for one small thing,
Yeah.
the spork is my go-to.
Brilliant. Oh, that sounds good. That sounds good. Yeah, Patagonia's got some great little bits and pieces like that, don't take up a lot of space. And I think you can kit yourself out and make a difference, not have to use all those single-use things that are everywhere otherwise.
Definitely. And
Mm.
Patagonia is, hold up your bottle again, Tova,
Yep.
connected to my Mizu. So
Mm-hmm.
if you go into any Patagonia shop around Japan, you can fill up your bottle, your own water bottle, with clean, wonderful drinking water for free.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a great service that they're doing,
Absolutely.
right?
Well, the My Music, the whole concept, right, is that, they've got, yes, they have these beautiful bottles, but they've also got the app. That's the main thing, where, I mean, it's a free app to download. You go on, and then at the moment, it's mostly in Japan, but they're starting to add quite a few places in other countries now, as users add more information and sort of help them build it out. Um, but they've got thousands of water refill spots marked on it. So, I mean, the number of times I've been out and about, it's particularly somewhere unfamiliar, want to fill my bottle up, and I can just look up the app, and it just tells me, okay, you can refill over here or over there. So it's got all the public places marked, where you can refill, and of course, public, bathrooms and stuff here. The drinking water is absolutely fine, and places in parks, taps that you can use and things. But also, as you said, a lot of businesses and cafes and things as well have also signed on and become members of the sort of My Mizu community. So it tells you the nearest one. You can pop in and fill your water bottle.
It's great. It's a great service.
Mm.
And people often say to me, why don't you just use the water fountain in the park? I would love to, but they're
Mm.
sometimes really hard to find. So
Yes.
that's why the MyMizu app is really useful.
Mm.
It helps you find those tiny little community parks, which has a water
Yes.
fountain in it,
Yeah.
right? With
Yeah.
often it's really difficult to find one, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. Unless you know the area really well. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a great app.
Exactly. Well, I think that is our time, Tova. Go and
Okay.
enjoy this awesome event that
Thank
you're at today.
you. Thank you.
And
And I'll
we
look forward
will,
to telling you more next
yeah,
week.
and we'll reconnect next week and hear a little bit about it.
Super. All right. Thank
All
you.
right.
Have a
Thanks
great
so
day.
much. Thanks, everybody, for joining. Have a great day. Take
Thank
care.
you. Bye.
Bye. I have no idea how to turn this off. Okay, here we go. Yes. Bye.